Should probably pick up the matter.
All right, back in order. Public comments.
Now they can't say anything bad because we're going to pay.
That works for me. Anything, gentlemen? Okay, thank you. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Trustees Richmond?
Aye.
George Duberstein?
Aye.
Reese?
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein?
Aye.
Cole? Aye. Williams?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, very good. Reports, finance, Mary.
Pretty much Kelly basically is just saying that the first week of the audit has been going well. They're a little bit hiatus right now, her vacation and their vacation, but then they'll continue again when they all get back into the swing. She's been keeping up with everything, so no issues or anything like that.
This is a new one. It seems like we just finished the old.
Well, we did, but because that's extended longer than we had anticipated.
There are some negotiation
Yes.
difficulties over the
Yes.
The
So
months,
this is
the
the
months.
current audit.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, everything is going well.
Okay, Georgianne, Great Age Club.
Great Age Club had their annual picnic at Nippersink Forest Reserves, and it was a huge success. There was so much food, people took some home. So it went well. Other things, the Village-wide garage sale will be this coming weekend. We have about 30 homes signed up, and they still have tomorrow to still sign up before I have to make all the addresses. And Swelco, we had a very successful shredding and recycling event on Saturday. We had 188. Well, some people actually walked over with stuff, so total it was 188. I would say at least 185 were probably cars, and the rest were just people who walked over with things. We had a trailer full of fire extinguishers, smoke detectors, car batteries. We had musical instruments. We had 131 pairs of glasses. We had 102 keys. We had, they collected eclipse glasses. We had 188 eclipse glasses.
Cool.
7 hearing aids. We had, I don't know if you know what a gaylord is, but it's almost as tall as I am, and it's as wide.
So 2 by 2?
4 by 4.
I was going to say, it's as wide as I am. But luckily, it's not true.
4 by 4 by 4?
That, not her, it's the
Thank you, dear.
The Gaylord.
And they were filled with stuffed animals and clothes and books and shoes. I mean, it was amazing, the things that people brought. It was really wonderful. And we will get credit for all of that at the end of the year. Like, we're supposed to get a check shortly for this past year. And then what we've gathered this time will go toward what we'll get at the end of next year.
Good job.
Congratulations.
And I couldn't do it without more than my other half.
All right, thank you. George, Civil War?
Yeah, I just want to make one additional comment. We had representatives from both the state senate and the state reps there, and they will pay for part of the shredding truck. Civil War, I'm working, waiting for a reply from the commander of the unit that I guess mimics the colored troops that fought in the Civil War. So we're going to see if we can add them to our repertoire this year. And I hope to have the donation letters out this week or early next week.
You have a tentative date
Okay.
from the Civil War event.
It's not tentative, it's been on the books for months. It's 21st, 22nd, the third weekend in October.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Clerks? Andy?
Just a quick update for everyone that the new village website is complete. It is up and running. There are a few small pieces that they are still working on in the background, but for the most part, it is up and going and looking good. We are still working to grow the new Facebook page, so if you haven't already and you're on Facebook, if you would like it, if you could share it, try to get, more community out. We have people in the neighborhoods that are on Facebook, let them know that we've got a new page and to go out and like it.
We have some pictures from the recycle event and from our picnic that we can give.
Perfect, yep, send them our way.
On the website.
Wonderful.
Very good, thank you. As I said, Ruby is deputy clerk. The deputy clerk is sitting at her desk right now, trying to straighten out mom's stuff. Couple discussion items under the mayor's report is, and we'll take them one at a time. The Public Works Park development has begun. We've got a couple trenches out there for power. Mr. Eubanks will be on site August 8th to paint out the pathways and the various planting areas. We have ordered the light poles, and today I came up with an idea over the weekend, and we're going to get an estimate on it of running, not power, but running water from the Public Works building out to the site. Since there's going to be a lot of gardens out there, it might be smart to have water available for sprinkling rather than extending a hose over the parking lot. No price as of this point. As I said in the email to you a week ago, the conversation came up in the village hall about naming the park. I have two thoughts, or even considered suggestions on how we could approach this. One, staff and board toss in names and try to figure out which one we like best as that group, or as Linda Soto did when we were looking for a flag and a logo, have a village-wide concept or contest. But I'm open to anything, so any ideas, thoughts?
Contest.
Context. Yes.
I think it would be good to involve the village.
Okay.
Well, okay, so I'm going to make a comment on this because this just takes me back to a conversation we had here where I said the same thing when we had the vacancy for the trustee. And everybody said no, and we appointed someone. So to me, it's a little hypocritical now to say we're going to put it out to the village for something that's not that significant that we could choose.
So is there a suggestion?
Yeah, I'd like to go back to who really put the sweat equity in. Elijah Haynes, just from reading his bio, the man did a lot of work, and I think I would love to see him recognized by the park being named after him.
Response, thought, other ideas? Right now, I've got a lot of people, a number of you saying contest.
If we were to have a contest, I assume there would be some kind of prize for the winner. What kind of thing are we even thinking about?
I walked in here with no solid ideas. I'm open. I agree that there should be some sort of prize. I can recall, George and you were around at that time, I can recall that the contest for the logo had some sort of cash prize.
I think so. Did she limit it to just the kids, or was it for everybody?
I think it was wide open, but a 16-year-old, 15 or 16-year-old won with his drawing. I'll tell you what, there's no great rush to do it. If all is well, the construction of the park should be done by the end of September, but that doesn't mean we have to have it named by then. put some thought into it. If we're gonna go with a contest, or if you want, however you wanna go with it, send me some ideas. If the majority are thinking contest, I'll try to put together a format, let you look at it, work it out, and work out something together. I'm wide open on this.
We get a
I
consensus.
know you've offered, but it's not gonna be called Bailey Plaza. I know, bad joke. I'm sorry, Georgia.
Can we take a consensus now?
On which way to go?
Yes.
Well, are there any other suggestions? Doug's, Elijah Haynes, Memorial Park, contest is a suggestion. And so far also is the board and the staff put some names together and then a choice is made. Any other methods that you would like to entertain?
Could we do kind of a hybrid of those two, have people submit some ideas, and then come back to the residents to vote on them? So if we get 20 ideas, the board might like Elijah Haynes, but somebody, the residents all like Wildflower Park or whatever.
Okay, let me reiterate what I think I heard. Is we put something out to the residents indicating that we're looking for suggestions to name this new park. If you have any suggestions, submit them, and then how will we choose?
Well, that's where I'm saying then put it back out to the residents to vote. So somebody might not be creative in coming up with a name, but they're interested in voting on what comes up.
Christina, can we work something out online where we could take an online vote?
Yeah, I think I could do something.
So we would get all of the suggestions from the residents and then have the residents vote on the suggestions that are submitted?
Well, I think the suggestions could come from anyone, be it a board member or resident.
Right,
And, yeah,
but you're
since
saying,
you all live in
so
town,
then if we had 50 suggestions, then we're gonna vote on 50 different things.
Good question.
Well, if there's a list of 50 ideas, then a resident can go in and say, my favorite is Anne Richmond Memorial Park. Or,
You understand what memorial means?
yes.
We're
And that
planning
might be why
something.
people like it.
Yeah, we're planning something, I was in the blur.
But that way, I'm not terribly creative with ideas, but I would love to have the input of voting on something. And I think there's probably other residents who might feel the same way, like.
All right, let me throw a twist in as a thought. Do we put it out to, gentlemen, any input?
Yeah. Elijah Haynes Park makes way too much sense considering it's one of the original settlers of this area. It would then allow the residents here to look at that and be like, oh, who's Elijah Haynes? And then they can understand the history of this area. Memorial Park, you could throw a stone, you can hit memorial this, memorial that, or memorial whatever. It's rather uninspired and unoriginal, in my opinion.
Okay, that's what I'm asking for.
I have mixed feelings about it. So I like that, but I feel like we have too much Haynes going on.
I'm sorry, too much.
I think we have too much Haynes. This is Hainesville. I personally like the contest idea. I think you should, if you want community involvement, put it out to the community. I think you want everyone to get involved. You want them to have skin in the game. This is a piece of that. I would want you to ask me, what do I think of this? What I think you should do is ask for them to give you suggestions that you guys vote on. I think you guys should be the voting party on this. But you should kind of break it down. Go through the first step. Everyone kind of vote on their top 3, and then get rid of everything else, and then keep breaking it down until you get down to it.
Bring the
Always one. I think you should have a logo for it too. It shouldn't just be another bunch of grasses. I think there needs to be a little bit more to it. So, whatever you name it, I think that should kind of go along with it. And then do a big unveiling, like cover it up and do an unveiling of the whole community.
Okay. All right.
Ribbon cutting novelty centers.
Is that how we make it memorial?
Or at least official.
All right. So, we put it out to the residents for suggestions. Let's go with the idea we get 40 or 50 back. Do we wean that down
Yes.
as a board and then put out top 10? I'm just throwing this out.
That actually makes probably sense
Yeah.
from a workable standpoint.
Yeah.
So,
Or top something, maybe not 10, I mean, it depends on how many
What do you get?
to
All right.
get and how many we like.
all right, so if we put out the top number, do we then resubmit that to the public to vote?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so what we're looking for the board to do is slim the number to go back out to the public to vote.
Yes.
All right.
Consensus is, we
Yep.
got that done.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, we'll take that approach. You guys got that all down?
Yep.
You know I won't remember it. All right, very good, thank you all. The second one, I explained in the email.
If you are thinking about this for the end of September or October, then you probably should put it out in the August newsletter is already done, right?
It's not complete, we can add.
Well, yeah, we gotta do some thinking first,
Yeah.
so we can, when we put it out, it's not that it's logical, cogent,
Okay.
and, you know.
We can always go out
we-
separate.
We can go out separate, we can put it out postcards.
I would suggest we do it in October, make the decision in October, rather than September,
Why?
because we won't be here in September.
Cancel the trip. What's it?
Change the date of the meeting.
We'll try to, let us get this going, and we'll see what works best.
And how, we need to determine how they're gonna vote. Is it an online thing?
We do it public.
It's one of the details we gotta work out. Okay? We've narrowed the starting idea, and that's what I was looking for tonight. So we'll put it together, and we'll keep you in touch.
Okay.
We'll keep you informed.
I'm going to volunteer John's expertise to consult with Christine and Ruby to,
Yeah. You're gonna volunteer?
I'm going to volunteer.
Yeah, that's your
Yeah,
favorite.
told, yes.
Yeah. Marketing.
There's like
Yeah.
a monkey something, there's some kind of.
Survey.
Survey.
Yeah.
We were talking about that today. We'll get it worked out, and we'll share the details. Okay, the second one, I mentioned that a resident came in to talk to me, and he first started talking about, do we have anything recognizing Vietnam War Day? And I said, no, we do not, but you have to remember that the majority of Hainesville was built in the late 80s and 90s, or the 90s, well after Vietnam was over. At the time during the Vietnam War, we might have had a population of roughly 150. I was like, oh, yeah. And then he said, well, what about World War II? And I said, once again, very small population. Long story shorter, we weaned it down. What about, not a memorial, but some sort of recognition of veterans, those who have served, and not a list of names, not trying to find Hainesville veterans, but just a recognition of military service, potentially a plaque, and we could put Gathering Place, the new park, somewhere else that might be appropriate. Thoughts?
I'd say yes, and I like that it's kind of open-ended because veterans may move in and move out.
Mhm.
And I would love if it recognized men, women, and the families of those who serve.
And I think this would be a good opportunity to maybe get the American Legion involved and partner with them and see, how they can kind of input with us.
Okay, I can give them a call. Okay. I'm looking for someone who's willing to step up and take lead in this.
I volunteered to, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. We'll talk. Okay? All right. Any other thoughts on that? Okay. Thank you.
I was just going to jump in and kind of thought that if we decide to put it up somewhere, we could shoot for November, we could do a Veterans Day kind of ceremony to unveil it.
All right, let's talk briefly then for potential location.
It's gonna have another one for another trustee. So maybe if we sort of thought of it as a gathering place at Memorial Park, then maybe that would be a place to put the Veterans Day.
Again, well, this plaque isn't gonna be in memoriam.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, it's gonna be recognition
Right.
of those who have served and those who are served.
I kind of like the idea of keeping the gathering place where we add memorials for trustees or former servants, and then maybe putting the veterans in the new park.
Okay.
I have a suggestion on this, because what we have at the church, okay, which would be have it as a separate perk or whatever you want to do, okay, and put a nice bench on there with a plaque, so people can go down and reflect on the people that served.
Okay. With that idea, would that be something that isn't in the original plan?
Probably, well, you could take it, well, like one of the berms that we have, and just make an area within that with the plaque and the bench, just to reflect.
Okay. We are going to have a couple benches available. The part of the village hall being re-blacktop. The ADA access to our front door is no longer legal and has to be revamped. Those two benches out there are going to go that way, since nobody ever uses them anyway. So that could serve that purpose. Doug, if you want to make a note that, okay, we need to, you and I can look at the plan and see if we can double up on one of the berms we have, or do we look at something that gets developed next spring? We haven't budgeted anything for this, but that doesn't mean we can't find something. Okay? All right, and if anybody else wants to chip in on this, and I don't mean financially with their time, give Doug a call.
Yeah, please. Or just email me.
Okay?
You could get some ideas from some of the other Brown Lakes and see what they've done.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Public Works report is in the packet. I know I mentioned it in the mayor's report. Israel's doing a top-notch job. Not only is he's looking ahead, long range looking ahead. He really wants to make this a career step. He works well with the kids, and he's very respectful and works well with the residents too. I'm real pleased with how he's shaping up. Andy, go ahead.
Everybody did a great job. Public Works did a great job in our recycling thing. They were right there, taking stuff out of everybody's car, putting things away, just being very helpful and responsive.
It's
All
been the best crew we've had in a few years. Just, on that line, talking about Public Works, I think I shared this in the mayor's report. We do not, at this point, have a number two. And our number two, traditionally, since I've been mayor, has come from the inside. We have a young man that might be moving in that direction, but what we hope to do is not make him the assistant right off the bat, but hire him on full-time over the winter, and higher than his summer pay, but not as much as he would be if he were the assistant. But we're going to look at the pay since he becomes full-time. That means he's going to get IMRF will adjust his pay such that he doesn't lose money by going full-time because of the additional deduction. We haven't broached that with this young person yet. There's been some hints. We want to get through the summer, most of the summer, but he's been a strong candidate for that. In time, if he takes it and grows, he could be the number two. All right, ad hoc committee, I've talked to both Georgianne and Mary. They have not had contact with Debbie Budiak from ILM. try to motivate both those individuals to get the evaluation done. All right, any question on any of those before we move on? Business, need a motion to approve revised budget for the Jubilee Court stairs and fence. Originally, we budgeted $18,000. We had budgets as high as a total of $40,000. Darren Monaco went digging, approached some other companies. We now have this one for $21,932. You saw a picture of what the stairs material will be. It's in your packet. We won't have the foliage to the side like that, but we'll have a split rail fence going down both sides, down to the edge of the conservancy, the backyard conservancy. So, need a motion?
Are these are cement or are these flags?
They are imitation flagstone. Let's get a motion and we'll discuss it.
I'm sorry.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Will it be ADA accessible?
No, our ADA access is at the other end.
Oh, over here.
Yeah, on all. Okay. Checked it out. We're okay there.
I got a couple of comments. Originally, I didn't think it was useful to spend this kind of money on the path, because I didn't think it was being used. But to do my due diligence, I went out and actually looked at the thing again today. And then I talked to the neighbors. And apparently, a lot of people use that thing on a regular basis, to include older people. And so I've changed my mind. I think it's probably a good idea that we do this.
All right, thank you.
Where, if we originally thought it was 18,000 and now it's more than that, where's, first of all, was the 18,000 in the budget, and secondly, where did the extra money come?
18,000 was in the budget. The excess would probably come from one of our reserves. Okay, or unspent funds on something else.
And this would be, if we approve it tonight, when would these start?
I've got the proposals that are in your packet on my desk. Darren would contact the company and schedule the time.
And you have any idea how long it would take?
No, sir. Not at all.
From what I read there, it's 48 hours, so that could be,
Not 48 hours to complete the project.
it said 48 hours total. If you look at the proposal, labor and construction, 48 hours.
That's going to be a big crew.
If they don't do it 24 hours.
Yeah, well, yeah,
right.
right.
So it's a 40-hour work, it's a
40-hour work week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Oh, that's what
Bold.
it's,
It'd be
Okay.
6 working days.
But I was saying also a total of 48 hours? That's it?
I'm looking at a 40-hour work week.
Got
In
it.
2 days.
Okay,
So
so
it probably should take about a week.
about a week.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you, Wally. Anything else, George? No. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Richmond,
Aye.
George Duberstein,
Aye.
Reese,
Aye.
Georgiana Duberstein,
Aye.
Koval,
Aye.
Wilkins.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?